Hello friends. So from today we are just starting a new series on problem of the day from GFG, and this is our first problem solving day. So let's look at the problem of today, and this is okay. So we are going to solve this problem. So let's read the problem first, then I will explain all this. Okay, so let's use this part. So what is the problem saying? We are given an array, integer array, asteroids of size n, representing asteroids in a row. For each asteroid, the absolute value represents its size and the sign represents its direction. So positive means right and negative means left. Each asteroids move at the same speed. Find out the state of the asteroids after all collisions. If two asteroids meet, the smaller one will explode. If both are same size, both will explode. So two asteroids moving in the same direction will never meet. So let's understand the problem. Let's take that example. Okay, so we are answering the problem using an example. So let's take the example. Okay, so this is our example. So let's understand the problem using this example. So we are given this array. Okay, now what does that represents? What does this element represent? This element represents an asteroid. So asteroid is something that moves in space, outer space. So we really don't bother about that or care about that. This is not the matter. So this represents an asteroid of size 3. Okay, and the positive number, as this is a positive number, so this asteroid is moving in right direction. This is also a positive number, so there is another asteroid of size 5 moving in right direction. This is an asteroid of negative number, a negative size. So this is an asteroid of size 3, but this asteroid is moving left. Okay, so first two asteroids are just moving right and this asteroid is moving left. So what will happen? All these are moving at same speed. So you can imagine that this one will collide with this, and in question you have given that if two asteroids collides, then the smaller one will explode. Okay, so the this will alive and this will get exploded. So we are left with 3 and 5, and the answer is actually 3 and 5. You can see here. So you are given some conditions or some rules that if the array element, if your I am writing the array name as A. So if array I is a positive number, then first thing that it is moving in right direction, and second thing is that it is of size array I. Okay, it is of size array I, absolute value of array I. Okay, and is moving in right direction. And the second rule you have given that if array I less than 0, then it is moving in left direction and is also size of this absolute value of AI, and some other things also. Which are they? What are they? So if two asteroids collide to each other, okay, so suppose this is moving in right direction, this is moving in left direction, so which one will alive? Which one will alive? The bigger one. Bigger one will be alive. And if this is a special condition, okay, so suppose this is a asteroid of size 5 and this is an asteroid of size 3, and as this is moving in the left direction, so the array element is 5 comma minus 3. So suppose you have given this array 5 comma minus 3. So what does that mean? That means there is an asteroid of size 5 moving in right direction, and there is an asteroid of size 3 moving in left direction. So which one will be alive? The bigger one? Okay, absolute. Just take the absolute value in the alive case. So here the alive person will be, alive asteroid will be 5 of size. Okay, and it will be explored. But what happens if both are of same size? Suppose this is 5 moving in the right direction, and this is minus 5. The array element is minus 5 actually, not the size. So suppose you have given this array. Okay, so that means there is an asteroid of size 5 and an asteroid of size 5, but it is moving in left direction. So it will also collide. But in that case, both will explode. Okay, both will explode. So I hope you understand the question. You have given an array and you have given a set of rules. Okay, these are the set of rules. The first rule says that if your element is positive, it is moving in the right direction, and it represents its absolute value, represents the size of the asteroid. Okay. If your element is negative, your asteroid is moving in the left direction. Okay, and also your asteroid size is the absolute value for element. And if two asteroid collides, then the bigger one will survive. And if two asteroid of same side collides, then both will explode. Okay. So suppose you have, so let's erase this part. I hope you understood that part. So I'm erasing this part. Suppose you have given two array, small size. One is 1 comma 2. Let's understand the with example. Okay, answer problem with example. Okay. So suppose you have given this array. This is my example 1. This is my example 2. Suppose you have given this array 1 minus 1, and suppose you have given this array minus 2 comma minus 2. So let us see what happens. Now forget about the asteroids. Think in terms of programming or calculations. You can think the problem in mind and see what happens. So this one means this is an asteroid of size 1 moving in right direction. This is an asteroid moving in right direction. So they will never collide. So our result will be 1 2 as it is. In this case, there is an asteroid moving in right direction and an asteroid moving in left direction. So both will collide up to each other, and as they are of same size, so both will explode. So our answer is a empty array. Okay, so this is my answer for this case. Now minus 2 or minus 2. So two asteroids of size 2, both are in left direction, moving in left direction. So they will never collide. So our answer is minus 2 comma minus 2. And there is a case, another. There's actually 4 cases. Another case. So you will understand the problem perfectly by these 4 examples. This is my example 3, example 4. So suppose this is my array, minus 1 comma 1. Okay. So to actually solve the problem, you are just to understand these 4 examples, and you can actually solve the problem. Okay, without any help. So what does that mean? There is an asteroid of size 1 moving in left direction. There is an asteroid of size 1 moving in right direction. So they will never collide. Okay. Now carefully observe the things, these examples. Carefully observe the examples. Okay. So I am writing all this cleanly. So in this case, when both elements are positive, the answer is as it is. in this case both are of opposite and of same size, so the answer is empty. Both are negative, doesn't matter same or not. See, both are positive, same or not doesn't matter. Both are negative, same or not doesn't matter. Same size or not doesn't matter. So the answer is as it is. Okay. But when both are of opposite, but first the negative one comes, the answer is as it is. Okay. So in these three cases, the answer is as it is. So we have to do the problem, the calculation only in this case. Only in this case. When the first one is positive and the second one is negative. The first element is positive, second one is negative. So why this is? Because one is moving towards right, another is moving towards left. So obviously they will collide. But in the case of both are moving left, one in this direction, one in this direction, one in this direction, one in, they will never, because they are moving in same speed. Okay. So we have to just calculate and do the programming mainly in this part, and the other parts we are going to do nothing. Okay. So what is the summarized thing here? That if both the elements are positive, nothing to do. Both the elements negative, nothing to do. Both the elements are opposite, because the first element is negative, nothing to do. But then the superhero comes, both the elements are opposite signs and the first sign is positive in this case. Okay, so this is our main point, or this is our main point. So when our case is considering first element as positive, second one is negative, so then actually the collision happens and boom. Okay. And the special case is that if obviously the positive and negative with same size, yeah. So if suppose I am considering 2 comma minus 3, okay, so in this case they will collide, but which one will survive? The bigger one. So the answer will be minus 3. This is the answer. So collision happens only when the first one is positive, second one is negative. Now the point comes. Okay, so now sort of erase these point things. Okay, erase these things. I am going to describe the question in terms of the positive and negative, considering the special case, which is given in the question also. So let's take 2 comma minus 3 and another example as 2 comma minus 2. So here they will collide obviously, but one will definitely survive as both elements are not equal. Okay, so which one will survive? The absolute value, we will take the absolute value of both, and the bigger with absolute value will survive. So here minus 3, the answer is minus 3, and here both will collide, both will survive, both will explode, sorry. So the answer is actually empty. Okay, so this is the thing. So now we are going to think the approach. So this is the question actually. So we are just have to think about this part where the first element is positive and another is negative, and if both are of same size then both will explode, otherwise only one will explode, the smaller one. Okay. Now this is the question. So let's understand the problem's answer, how the answer is coming from the question with an example. Understand this. So this is our example given in the question. 3 5 minus 3. Okay, so we'll start solving from left to right here. Okay, or you can imagine three asteroids, one of size 5, 3 and minus 3, 3. These two are moving in right direction, this one is moving in left direction. So what will happen? 3 will remain as it is, 5 is moving in right direction. When it sees this asteroid, both will collide and the bigger one will survive. Okay, so 3 is moving in the direction, but the collision happens with these two, right? So these two will collide and survive is only 5. So this is my answer. So let's take this example 3 5. Okay, so I'm going to just erase both the things. So let's take this example 1 minus 7 8 minus 8 2 3. So what will happen? Carefully see, then I will come to what to do, then how to do and why to do. Okay, so this asteroid is moving right, okay, and this one is moving left. So this one will survive. So between these two, the answer is minus 7. This is gone, this is gone. This is the smallest size asteroid moving in the right direction. As this is bigger one, this will survive. So for these two, our answer is minus 7. Now let's take this one. So we are solving from left to right. Okay, now this one comes, this one is moving in the left direction, this one is with the right direction. So I hope you have not forgotten the formulas or the rules, that we are not going to do anything about the not going to do anything about the positive positive case, negative negative case and negative positive case, because in this case they are not going to collide, in this case they are not going to collide, in this case they are not going to collide. We are just bothering about the positive negative case. Okay, so here the negative positive case, so here it is. So we have nothing to do, so we will remain, the element will remain as it is. Then minus 8 comes, and this is a positive negative thing, and also they are of same size. So what will happen? Both will collide. Okay, so when this element sees this element, so both will collide. Now see this element 2, we are left with minus 7. So how will they go in steps and they will collide? So we will, let's see in upcoming. So just focus on 2. So this is negative and 2, so negative and positive, nothing to do, keep them as it is. Again positive positive. Okay, so you are observing that we are actually doing the operations between the left one and the remaining from the array. Okay, so here both are positive, so nothing to do, it will remain as it is. So this is our answer. Okay, actually this is our answer. So let's check this one, let's check this answer. Okay, so this is a cheating. Okay, so I am not solving this, just returning one, returning a new array and doing a custom input of one minus 7 8 minus 8 1 minus 7 8 minus 8 2 3. Okay, so 1 minus 7 8 minus 8 2 3. So let's see the output for this. And so we are expecting which one? We are expecting minus 7 2 and 3. Okay, so you can see the expected output is minus 7 2 3. Now let's see what to do to solve the problem. Okay, so let's take this example. I am going to solve the problem using this example. Okay, right, just minimizing this one. So this is our problem. Okay, so what we are going to do, so I am solving the problem using a stack first, but I will actually not solving the problem using stat. I will solve this using array list in Java. So first I am going to show you the solution using stat. Okay, so we are actually using array list as there is a extra part we have to do in case of stack in the last. So if we use array list, the extra part will not be in use. So this is our stack. And so what we will do, actually what happens is that we are firstly pushing the first element into the stack, and we are starting point from the second element. Okay, so this is a pointer I. So actually this starts from this element at the second position. Okay, so I pushed the first element and my first pointer is firstly pointing to the second element. Okay, now our solution starts. So I am seeing -7 here and 1 here. Okay, so here is my this is actually the second number in the array, and this is our first number. Okay, so we'll consider this one as first. In which case, in these cases, I will consider the first one as the stack elements and the second sign in the array. So our first one is 1, which is positive, and the second one is negative. So here the collision happens, right? So what we have to do, we have to pop the bigger one either from the array or from the stack. So the bigger one is in the array. So okay, sorry, we have to pop the smaller element. The bigger element will be alive, bigger element with absolute value. So I have to pop 1 and push -7 to the stack. So I am popping this one and pushing -7 to the stack. Now the pointer comes in I. Okay, now here is 8 and here is -7. So again positive, negative, so this is our first element negative and this is our second element positive. So negative, positive, no collision, right? We have to just calculate in case of positive, negative. So just push the element, nothing to pop, because we have to calculate the remaining asteroid after collision. So as no collision happens, so we have to just push in this element into the stack. And now -8 comes and 8 comes. So what I have told you that our first element is in the stack. The first I will consider from the stack, and the second I will consider from the array. Okay, so here is a positive, here is a negative number with same size. So I have to collide this one. They will collide, and -8 will also explode, 8 will also explode. So I will just pop this one, and no push is happened here. Okay, understand this, that we have to explode both of them as both of them collide. So nothing to do with this one actually. If I don't add this one into the stack, so nothing happens. And if I pop -8 from the stack, then also nothing happens, just this one will gone. So actually this is equivalent to just exploiting them. Okay, so exploiting both of them is equivalent to just nothing, just not pushing this element and popping this element. So I will do the whole thing again, so don't worry. So the pointer came here, then after that pointer came here, I. So it is in 2 and -7. So -7 is the first thing and 2 is the second thing. So negative, positive case, nothing to worry about. So we'll just push this one. Then 3 comes. So here is a positive, here is a positive, nothing to worry, just push this one. So the remaining elements are my answer. Okay, so if we match this will be answer as we have seen in the output section. So actually from below, so bottom to top is our answer, -7, 2, 3. Now I am going to do the thing once again. Okay, So look carefully. So what I am going to do, just push the first element, don't worry about anything, and start a pointer from the second element. So what I will see now, first keep that in mind, that positive positive, negative positive, and negative negative, nothing to do, positive negative to do, something to do. Okay, so nothing to do, something to do. So the stack elements is our first element as considering the first sign, and the array element is the second element as considering the second sign. So here is a positive and a negative case, so I have to do something. I have to explode the bigger one, so explode the smaller one. So I will just simply pop this one and push -7, as it will keep alive. Now the pointer comes here. So this is a negative and this is a positive, nothing to do, just push the element. Now the pointer comes here. This is a positive number, this is a negative number, so they will collide, and as they are of same size, both will explode. So I will just, what I have to do is I have to just pop this one and move the point to the next element. So what I am going to teach you is that, or that in case of alive, okay, I have to push element. In case of same size or smaller with collision, nothing to do, pop the element. Okay, so if you don't understand this, don't worry. So what I am actually going to teach you is that why we are popping the things. Okay, so if this is a positive number, here is a positive number, here is a negative number here, then the collision happens, and if something will be bigger, right, or they will be same size. If both are same size, we will pop this one and we will come to the next element. We just point to the next element, as we don't have to push this one, as this will also explode. Okay, so in case of same size, we will just pop this element, and in case of different size, we will just pop the smaller one. So if smaller one is in stack, we will pop this, and if it is in the array, we will do nothing, we will just point to the next element. Okay, so now our pointer comes in at 2. Okay, so we erase this one. So 2, and here is a negative number, so negative positive, nothing to do, push this one, and again 3, 2, positive positive, nothing to do, push this one. So this is my answer from bottom to right, 7 to 3. Now let's see another example with array list. Okay, so let's see the same example with array list, which we will code now. So 1, 7, 1 minus 7, 8 minus 8, 2, 3. So in case of stack, so we are now solve using array list. Okay, this is my array list. As in stack, we will just push the first element into the array list, and we will start pointing from the second element. Okay, so same case, nothing will be different. So this one is my positive element in case of considering the signs. Okay, so just keep this all in mind always. Something to do, nothing to do. Okay, so this is the positive and this is negative, something to do. So what will I do? I will just pop this one. So in case of array list, I will just remove this one. Okay, so in case of array list, I will remove this one and push this one, as this will be alive, and my answer will be in this array list. So the pointer is pointing in the next element. See those elements, -7 and 8. So negative positive, nothing to do, just push this. Next, the pointing point to this element negative, so positive negative something to do. So we will pop this one, and we will nothing do nothing in case of here. So we will pointing in the next element and pop this one. So 2 minus 7 2, so nothing to do, push. 2 minus 2 3, nothing to do, push. So I will convert this array list into an integer array. So this will be my answer. Okay. This is so easy, right? Now I am showing you an example with this case, as this case will tell us why we will be using an while loop in case of if loop or if condition. Okay. So if you don't understand my statements or words, so don't worry. I will understand. I will let you understand using an example. So let's take an example. So 1 minus 7. Okay. 1 minus 7. Let's take 2 and 5 and 3 comma 9 comma 11. So 12. 9 comma 12. Okay. Right. So what is the special case in this example? We are just, as previous case, we are just using the array list. Okay. So push the first element into the array list. Keep a pointer and the second element. See those elements. So we have some cases. I am going to write this in red. So positive positive, nothing to do. Negative negative, nothing to do. Negative positive, nothing to do. Something to do in positive negative case. So in this case, we'll push the first element into the array list and start pointing from the second element. Now what happens is that I will just push this element because this is positive positive case, right? So positive positive, negative positive, negative negative. This is collisionless states. Collisionless states. And collision will happen in case of positive negative. Right, I will just push this one and push one, and in case of minus 7, the last element. Okay, so I am seeing the last elements of the array list. Okay, as like in stack, I was seeing the peak element, right? So in here I will see the last element of the stack. So last element of the stack is positive, this is negative, right? So this is negative. So this one is negative, this one is positive. So positive negative collision will happen. Now in this case, why this is a special case? Because here 1 and 7 will collide, right? And this will win. So I will pop this one, right? But I cannot push directly minus 7 here. Why? Because there is a 2 here. As soon as I push the minus 7 here, it will collide with this 2, right? Because this is positive, this is negative. So whenever will a positive will collide with a negative, whenever will a positive will face a negative, right? A collision will happen. Remember my words. Whenever a positive is facing a negative, collision happens, right? So a positive followed by a negative. So I cannot just push minus 7. I have to check. So I have to run a loop here. In case of positive negative, I am not just considering a condition that is a positive negative and I will pop this and I will put minus 7 here. No, I can't do that because there may be a positive number behind the last number in the array list. So this number behind the 1 is positive. So if I push minus 7 here, okay, so minus 7 will again collide with this. Okay, I'm telling once again. So what happens is that here is minus 7, here is 1. Minus 7 collides with 1, right? So minus 7 wins. So I can't push directly minus 7 here because there is a 2 So whenever I push minus 7 here, 2 and minus 7 will obviously collide and minus 7 again win, right? So I can't use a if else loop here. I have to use a while loop here, right? You have to imagine the code doing the example. So this is the actually approach for doing a code. So you can just read the question and directly write the code, right? So you have to observe the examples, so how the approach is running, how the solution is coming, right? So you can use if else loop, you have to use while loop. So while some termination conditions. So what are the termination conditions here, right? So we have to find them. Okay, so minus 7 c minus 2, right? So it will be popped again. 5, so minus my 5 will be popped. Then here the array list is empty, right? So I get a termination condition. So for positive negative case, I get a termination condition as the array list is empty. So this is my number 1 termination condition, right? Let's find the number 2. So I am just erasing all these things. Okay. So let's assume that this is suppose 9. Okay. So here is the 9, 2 and 1. Okay. So minus 7 is 1 pop. We pop 1 again. So 1 minus 7 pop. 2 minus 7. We again pop 2. Minus 7 wins. Then minus 7 C 9. Right. So I am not still pushing minus 7. I will push the minus 7 at last when all the I will tell you that later. Now 9 C is minus 7, right? So 9 minus 7, positive negative. So collision happens, but this wins this time. So it will be exploded, right? So if I will terminate this if the element in the array list is greater than the element in the array. Okay. Then another one is that if I find a negative number, suppose this is minus 9. So negative is a non-collision condition. You can see here. So if array element is negative, I will terminate the thing, right? Okay. Now let's see. Okay. All right. Right. So in this case, all layer popped. Now, then I will push minus 7, right? Absolutely push. But here is also a problem. Okay. So what is the problem? Okay. So I had told you that I will push minus 7 at the last, right? So after all the termination conditions are over. But see this case, right? What I am going to tell you is that there is suppose 5, 2 and 1 in the array list. So 1 will be popped, 2 will be popped, my 5 will be popped, and at last this array list will be empty, minus 7 will be pushed, right? Okay. Now suppose okay, so for this figure, now suppose this is 9 to 1 and minus 9 to 1, right? Okay. So 1 will be popped, 2 will be popped. So there is a battle between 9 and minus 7. So I can push so there is a battle between 9 and minus 7, right? Fine. So here 9 wins, right? So I can't push minus 7 because minus 7 collides. Okay. So more or less what I want to tell you is specifically, okay, sorry. Specifically is that, listen carefully, okay. there is 9 to 1 in the array list. Okay, so let's take three. I'm considering just three cases. Okay, 1, 2, 3. First case, this is 5. So here is -7. Okay, so here battle comes with 1 and -7. -7 wins, 1 explodes. Then with -2, 2 explodes. Then with 5, 5 explodes. Then the stack, the array list is empty. So I'll push. So array list is empty. So I will push -7. Now there is another case that here is a -9. So here no collision happens. So I will just push -7 here. So answer will be -9, -7, then the rest. So if a negative number comes in the array list, then I will push 7 or -7. Okay. But the case when there is a positive 9, the battle between 9 and -7 happens and 9 wins here. So -7 collides. So I can't push here. I cannot push -7 here. Right? So I have to terminate it. I have to terminate the loop when this number is greater with respect to -7. So this number is greater with respect to the array element. Right? So I can't push. I have to just terminate. So these three I want you to observe. Okay. So there I am again telling you those cases. Okay. So suppose here is 5. Suppose this is 5. Okay. So in array list we have 5 to 1. Then -7 comes. I will just pop this, all of this, and push -7. This is the one thing. Okay. Second thing is, suppose there is -9 or some negative number 2, 1. -7 comes. Pop this one. Okay. So here is -9, -7 is my answer. So in this case -7, up to this -7 is answer, and here in this case up to this answer is -7, -7. So if this is -9, so this is my answer, right? Now there is a case where this is 9 to 1, then -7 comes, so it will pop this one, and with the battle of 9 it will explode. So the answer is 9. So can you see here that -7 is pushed, but -7 is not pushed, right? So I have to take that in mind. Okay, so just let us complete the result. Okay, so in this case just completing the result. So taking this as 9. So 9 to 1, -7 comes, pop, -7 also explodes. So the pointer comes here. Okay, so here is 9, positive. So this again positive comes here, positive, uh, 9 again comes here. So 12, positive, 9 positive, so 12. So this is my answer, right? Or if I do it with 5 here, so I do 5. So 5 to 1, then -7 comes, all these are popped, so -7 left alone. Then 3 comes, so minus, negative, positive, nothing to worry about. So 3 pushed as it is, 9 pushed as it is, 12 will be pushed as it is. So this will be my answer. So this is the case, right? So now let's code. Let's do the main part. So let's code. Okay, fine. So let's code now. Okay. So first I will create an array list, as I have told you. I am to solve the problem using array list, and I will push the first element as it is. will take a pointer at 1 position, second position is represented by index 1, right? So then I will create a while loop where I will run from left to right. Okay, so now there is two cases, either the positive negative happens or the collide happens, we can say, or other cases. So in other cases we will do nothing, just push the element into the array list, right, as we have seen earlier. So if array element, so the first element is in the array list element, right? So in the positive negative case, the positive belongs to the array list element and the negative belongs to the array element. Okay, so consider this in mind. So I have to take the positive case in array list. So if array list element, which element? Last element. We are considering all the last elements, right? It is greater than equal to 0, this is positive, and the array element is negative 0, then I will do something else. I will do something I plus plus. Then what will I do? I will create an integer array, right? Of size as the size of the array list. Then array list size, I will just transfer all the elements of the array list into the array. Okay, so I have just named the array name as answer, as this is my answer array. So I am not taking the loop in I, because I is declared already here, so I can't do that, right? And I will return my answer. Fine. So I have to just fill all these parts. So as I have told you earlier that we can't use if else condition because there is a loop running when we consider the -7. So there is 5 to 1. So after popping 1 we are again popping 2, then popping 5, then we stop. So when we stop if we see that the array list size is empty, so the termination condition is array list is empty, right? So to run the loop, the array list should be of size greater than 0, and obviously the same condition as given here, right? So I'm just copying this and pasting this here. So there may be two cases, right? So what is this case? What is this case? This is case of positive negative, right? Here is the positive case, here is the negative case. Okay. So in the positive case, as we have seen, so -7 is creating a loop for 5 to 1. After popping 1, I will pop 2, I will pop 5. When I will get an empty array, I will stop. See, the while loop will stop. So this is a while loop. Now else, what will I do? Else means the positive positive negative 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 positive. I will just push all the elements. Okay. Nothing to do here, as I have told you. So in the loop, where is -7 and here is my 5 to 1. So on 9 to 1 or 1 to 9, anything. So I am considering just the last element of the array list and the array element. So if this element is bigger, the array element is bigger, right? So the array element is bigger. So not the array element, actually the absolute value of the array element, right? So the absolute value of the array element, if it is bigger than the array list's last element. So array lists, so I am not taking the absolute value because it is already positive. That's why I am considering the if case, right? So if this element is bigger, then I will pop this. I will not think now as we have to push the -7 or not. I am just popping this because it will collide with this, right, and this will be exploded. So I have to pop this, and I will not pushing this now because I have to check, right, if there is another element bigger than this, right. So if there is an element bigger than this, then it will be exploded and I can push this element, right. So I have told you earlier that you can check this by going to that section. So this element is bigger, right, this element is bigger, and I will pop this because it will be exploded. Pop this, and I will not think about pushing it now. Okay, so I will just pop this. Pop means remove. Which element? Last element. Right. Okay. And if two elements are equal, I will just pop this and break this while loop because we don't have to do anything. We have to just go to the next element. The I pointer will go to the next element, right? We will break the loop, inner while loop, if this is equal. If this part is equal, we will do nothing except popping, right? If the two elements are equal, these two elements, I will pop this, I will go to the next element. Nothing to worry about this, right? I will just pop. To push it or pop, nothing to worry about. In case of this bigger element, I will pop this and think about it later. Now I'm not thinking about this now. Later I will think about it. So first I am just popping this, right? And I will break. Else, if this element is big, this element, then nothing to pop, right? Nothing to push already, to push to. So nothing to pop to, nothing to push to. This element bigger, this will remain as it is. This will explode it. So we will just break it and go to the next part, next element. Now in the case of when this is bigger, the -7 is bigger, so I have to check that if it survives at the last, because there may be that 9 to 1, so -7 is compete with 1, then 2, then 9. So in case of 9 it will be exploded, right? So for every cases I have to just ensure that -7 survives for last at the last, right? So after the termination of the loop, if -7 survives, okay, so I will push it. So which is the case where -7 will not be survive? Which is the case where when -7 will not survive? The case is when the element when this element is bigger, right? This element is bigger than this element. In this case, it will be exploded, right? So think about in which cases we will push the this array element. In which cases we will push the array element? When there are three cases, right? Let's see, there are three cases: two equal, or this one is bigger, or this one is bigger. So in which cases we will push the element? If both are equal, they both explode, nothing to survive, right? So I will use a flag here before the while loop, which will be false initially. So if two elements are equal, both will be exploded, so it will not be pushed, right? So I will keep the flag as false here. and if this one is bigger than this element, okay, this one is bigger than this element, this is array list element, this is the array element. If the array list element is bigger, it will remain as it is, and this one will be exploded, right? So it will never be pushed. So in this case also the flag will be false. I am not pushing anything, right? Only in the case where this element is bigger, only in the case this element is bigger, it will beat this one and we will push this one, right? So observe carefully, see that this is the while loop going, right? So it will check for everything. So if at last it survives, then the flag will be true, right? For each case the flag is changing either to false or true. So if at the last operation, if it is same, at the last operation if it is same, it will be exploded, so the flag will be false. With the last operation, this element is bigger than this, then the flag will be true. If at the last operation in the while loop, this element is bigger and the flag is false. So everything depends on the last operation, the while loop, and the array list elements, right? So if the last operation, in the last operation the flag is true, then we will push it only. After all this, if my flag is true, so then I will push the element. That's it. That's it. So let's compile and run this. Let's see, there is an error or not. So it's perfectly working. So let's see the code. It's showing some error. I don't know why it's showing error. 64 while loop dot length get size 0 flag okay. So I have not given the flag true here. I have to give it the flag true, so I am not breaking. So I am not breaking. I apply the break here, not here, right? So why? Because it may be possible that after because actually what happens is that if this one is explodes, right, so nothing to operate, right? Here all the operations is gone. How can we beat something if there is no opponent? So it already exploded, right? So there is nothing to compete, so I have to do break, right? In case of equality, or in case of this is bigger than this. So in both the cases I have to just break, because nothing to compete, so nothing to run the loop, so I have to break, right? So now I am going to submit. I hope this works. Okay, so it works perfectly fine. Your accuracy is 50%. Only 50% accuracy. Okay, so previously it shows me 100%. Leave it. So okay, so that's it. So thank you. See you in the next video.